What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. DN Duel commentary. We got Manipulator at the top, 1725. C-Happy at the bottom, 1635. This duel, we've got Blackwings versus a Artifact, Trap Tricks, Ice Hand, Fire Hand deck, Hat deck, whatever you want to call it. C-Happy opened up with Shura that he normal summoned. He set 3. And that same turn, he played Allure Darkness. He banished Bora. I believe that this is game 1. I don't expect anything impressive out of Blackwings. Not that C-Happy's bad or anything. I've actually seen him play very good. He plays like a ton of decks. It's just, the power creep, man. They're kind of like Fire Fist. They just don't have a way of dealing with all of these monster effects, especially monster destruction. Anyways, we see him fight through. He plays Black Whirlwind, and then he summons Shura. He's going to get a search. And he's looking at a T set with his opponent. He goes Zephyros, so maybe he already has Bora? Who knows? And against a face-down card, you have to presume that maybe it's one of the hand cards. I can't imagine any other monsters that, your opponent would set when they're playing, Trap Tricks and hands and artifacts and all that junk. So the problem... he says the obvious catastrophe, and he says you have the obvious Icarus. Wow! So they're kind of reading each other's plays here. This is going to be a good match. This is going to be a good or fun match. So Manipulator is saying, do something aggressive, damn it, attack into my catastrophe. And I think C-Happy is just I think he's okay to just sit back and try and plus a bunch with Zephyros, and that was a Ice Hand, which we predicted. And I imagine he's going to crash, and what's going to happen to him? Alright, so C-Happy is thinking. It looks like he doesn't have a response. I can't see a debunk in the main deck, so, probably going to get a couple of hands off. Okay, so Ice Hand goes to the graveyard. Oh, he activates Shura effect. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, totally forgot that Shura can search stuff. So he can okay, what does he get? Is that Steam? Yep, he gets Steam the Cloak in defense mode. I don't think Shura's not once per turn. Yeah, Shura isn't once per turn. You can just keep on getting Shura after Shura after Shura. You can just keep on using that effect. So I guess C-Happy could potentially load his entire field up with monsters if Manipulator is going to keep trying to crash. So yeah, I mean, I assume he wanted to, try and use his little hand tricks and attack, crash, crash, crash. But then I guess he didn't realize, hey, Shura can trigger and just keep getting Blackwing monsters. And as long as C-Happy has a full extra deck, he can make use out of those monsters. I mean, I don't think Blackwings need to really run that many synchros anymore. Like, you should run Armor Master and, like, Stardust, and, like, that's it. Like, the rest should just be Exceeds, because those are the cards you're going to be making like 80% of the time. Like you might synchro with Gale every so often with Sirocco if they even run that anymore. But for the most part, it's going to be exceeding all day, especially with Zephyros being the thing. All right, so Ice Hand targets the Delta Crow anti-reverse, which wouldn't have really done that much for him. I mean, all it would have really done is end up popping one card, which he's reading as Malevolent Catastrophe. And an artifact deck, that kind of does make sense why he wouldn't be setting all these cards. So anyways, it looks like C-Happy is thinking on the attack declaration. Maybe he's going to Icarus it. I mean, I don't know about Icarusing it. I mean, it's still going to activate. Okay, he plays Book of Moon to put it face down. I'm not so sure if I wouldn't have just let him get it. I mean, I guess maybe he wants... I mean, yeah, I'm not so sure I wouldn't have let him use Fire Hand. I mean, you kill my Shura, but I'm just going to keep searching monsters. Because once again, Shura is not once per turn. I mean, I guess you could fear a Dark Hole or something like that. Like, you get all these monsters on board and your opponent just dark holes them, and then you lose all your field presence. Regardless, C-Happy decided to book the Fire Hand. He now knows what the face down is, and play will go back to Manipulator. Man, I really feel like if Manipulator sets 2, he's going to get Icarus to fucking hell and back. Okay, so he plays his artifact ignition. Oh, it's light mirror. Okay, well, I guess it wasn't Icarus attack, obviously. And that's the pop guy, big attack. I know I'm butchering these names, guys. They're so off the wall. Like, my name has two L's at the end, but my name is Randall. I mean, that's a normal name. Who puts two L's in the fucking middle of a name? I mean, really? Like, who does that? So, anyways, I felt bad for Happy because he had two really good cards. Like, that anti-reverse, if he has that on board right now, he probably wins. He just nukes all of these back row, and it's just like, well, I mean, Manipulator just scoops. Alright, so Happy's thinking about his move. At the very least, he still has Whirlwind. So, I mean he has some options here. You know, he can go like, this guy's a tuner, right? Yep, it is a tuner. I mean, he can Black Rose the field and just nuke everything. Sure, he'll trigger some artifacts, but, you know, he still has 4 cards in hand. I don't know if I would recommend that play, but he does have some plays. The question is, what is he going to go into? Oh, yeah, Black Rose is probably another synchro that Blackwing should play. You should play Armor Master, Black Rose, and whatever you think the best level 8 is. If it's Stardust, then play Stardust. If it's Bells, play Bells. And then, like, the other 12 cards should just be XCs. Alright, so Happy's thinking. Manipulator is trying to get him to speed up. He goes for Zephyros the Elite. Triggering Whirlwind. Happy is going to get the Whirlwind off. Maybe he's going for Orochi the Squall. I'm unfamiliar with that guy. It says you can only control... It says if you control a monster other than Orochi the Squall, you can special summon this from your hand. And I guess he's going to trigger the effect. And normal summon it. Let me read the rest. Okay, if this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material monster, you can target one monster on the field, change its battle position. I'm not seeing why that's a good card at all. Like, really. I'm really not seeing it. Especially for his field. And its stats are very low, although most of the tuners do have bad stats, so that's nothing new. Alright, anyways, Happy goes into Abyss Dweller. And you wonder if he would activate the effect because there's always the looming Trap Hole Nightmare. Which, I mean, if it's back there and then you activate Dweller, man, that's just, you're going to have a bad day. That card is really good, by the way. Trap Hole Nightmare. I mean, he could potentially make 2 of them by using the Zephyros in his graveyard. Okay, so he decides not to do that. He decides to go level 7 synchro. What's he going for? He goes Black Rose. And holy shit, that worked. Oh, wow. That effing worked. Holy what? Oh my goodness. He lost. He didn't. Are you telling me that whole back row was just fucking that whole back row was nothing but artifact cards? And I mean, if you're not understanding there, the Dweller obviously makes it so when the artifacts go to the graveyard, they're all like, alright, we're ready to come back out. And then Abyss Dweller's effect is like, no bitch, you can't get into the club. You have to just chill outside. So they basically, they go to the graveyard and then they want to come out and then they can't come out to play. So they don't get their effects and they just die. And wow, the Manipulator just totally lost to a fucking Black Rose Dragon and just, man, who the fuck saw that coming? Okay, well, I mean, he seems a little salty too. he says lose to dumb random cards, and Happy's like, they're not random at all. I mean, I guess he's talking about the Blackwing monsters, you know, some of the lesser known ones like Orochi and Steam the Cloak and stuff like that. I mean, Steam the Cloak, it's okay. I don't know about Orochi, but Steam the Cloak is okay. It's not great. You know, it'd be better if they made a fucking Blackwing sea monster, but whatever. Alright, so we're waiting for Happy to lace him up. Looks like Manipulator is going to take first, and Happy will take second. Now, his side deck choices seem pretty legit. I mean, Delta Crow anti-reverse is really good against artifacts. What else? He was playing Light Mirror. That's really good against the deck too. I don't know. Well, Soul Drain would be excellent also. Yeah, Soul Drain would be really good. Man, 2 Artifact Ignitions on Duality and Trap Tricks, Trap-O Nightmare. He's probably going to go Artifact Ignition because he can search out Trap Tricks, Trap-O Nightmare. I mean, and that's what he does. He gets Artifact Ignition. Isn't that a TCG exclusive, by the way? That card is ridiculous. It is insane. I mean, it's a +1, and it does so much damn. It puts in so much work in that deck. Alright, so you see Manipulator. He goes for the T set, and then he just sets a whole bunch of cards, and he'll probably pass it to Seahabi, which he does. Seahabi is... What are you going to do, Seahabi? He fires back with his own Duality. He sees Delta, Kalutes, which he probably doesn't really need, and Maxi. I'm thinking you're probably going to want to go either Delta or Kalute. I don't think... You don't have to control a Blackwing, do you? Yeah, I think it's just you destroy all face-down back row cards. And if you have like 3 Blackwings, you can activate it from your hand or some shit like that. Okay, he gets Maxi because I guess he didn't want a card that his opponent could... Oh, no, you do have to control a Blackwing monster. Ooh, that's kind of... Yeah, that kind of changes things. Because if you go normal summon and then you fall into bottomless or your opponent activates, you know, a little fucking... was it Sanctum? Yeah. If they activate Sanctum and they pop your guy, then you can't really do anything. Alright, regardless, he activates Artifact Ignition during the end phase. This kind of seems like all of these end phase artifact cards, like Sanctum and Ignition, isn't this basically like fucking Abyss Spear 2.0? Like, isn't that all this is now? Like, that seems exactly what this is. You know what I mean? This is fucking Abyss Spear 2.0. You know what I mean? So, he gets hit with MST and Artifact Ignition. He loses Wiretap and Icarus Attack. So, he has an open board, and we assume that this is Fire/Ice Hand. I think it's probably Fire Hand. I mean, why would you be so content on blowing up all of those back rows your opponent did? I mean, your opponent set if it was Ice Hand. You probably just want to crash. Let's see. So he activates Sanctum, and Seahabi draws a card, and it is Fire Hand. So he's gonna eat both attacks, and play will go back to, well, after he sets one, play will go back to Seahabi. And what is Seahabi gonna do? Seahabi activates Black Whirlwind, and then summons Shura, who falls into a bottomless trap hole. That's unfortunate. So he gets banished, and he just sets a card, and he could end up potentially getting gamed here. He attacks for 3,700 again, and after he sets one, it's back to Seahabi. Seahabi he activates another Whirlwind, and he summons Bora, and you wonder if he could actually get these off. So Manipulator doesn't have a response. He activates Whirlwind's effect, both of them. I'd imagine he's gonna special summon here. You don't want to just leave Bora on board by itself. I mean, there's too much other shit that can happen to Bora. So he's gonna summon Gale. And what else? Maybe, damn, you can't special summon Zephyros. He might go Steam the Cloak. I haven't, don't you have to, can you special summon Steam the Cloak, or do you have to normal summon it? Alright, so he goes Orochi the Squall, which again, I did not know existed until the beginning of this duel. But what can he do with those cards? That is the question. Alright, so he's going to summon Orochi the Squall in defense, and he just passes turn. And play goes back to Manipulator. I'd imagine he's going to crash with Fire Hand, right? I mean, I guess Seahabi just summoned those to kind of wall up. And you see he does attack with Fire Hand. He tries to crash into the Bora. And he activates Black Sonic. Oh, shit. Wow. Who read that coming? So basically he gets D-Prison / Mirror Force. Actually, yeah, combine them. So he instantly answers the fire hand, and then he goes plus because he gets rid of the Maratech too. And nice counter, Happy. Nice way to put up a fight here. He's not drawing enough purple cards. That's the problem. He could probably come back and win this duel. He does not have the purple cards to potentially sustain his advantage. Manipulator's calling it a crap random. Black Sonic is really good. Like, that's not a random card, especially with all the fucking hand cards running around. Like, why wouldn't you run Black Sonic right now? Anyways, Happy just sets a card, and okay, you think about it. Your monsters didn't get blown up, and okay, so he hits him with another Black Sonic. He hits him with another fucking Black Sonic. Oh, that is troll-tastic. I wish he would put both monsters in attack mode and attack. He's saying battle phase cards are horrible. They're not that bad. They're not that bad if they're wrecking you right now. I mean, if you man. Alright, you have to look at it this way, right? I'm trying to read these back rows. He hasn't tried to inherently special summon, which means we could have a Black Horn here. He hasn't used any effects, which means we're probably reading a Trap Tricks Trapple Nightmare. He's already burnt Bottomless. Icarus attack during the end phase. You got to go for that new card. And what else are you going to go for? He tributes Orochi for Torrential Tribute and Maratech. Oh, snap. What can he... Oh, man, if he would draw another level 4. He plays Blizzard. And what's he going to do? He gets Orochi. And you wonder if Manipulator has real cards. He's actually going to be able to search from Whirlwind? I guess he plays multiple. Steam the Cloak. Okay. Dude, I say you do not special summon anything. You just fucking go ham. Like, put everything in attack mode and just try and attack. Like, if your opponent has Black Horn, you got to live with that shit. You know, if I'd special summon Gale and I'd try and do all the damage that I can. You know, I feel like the window of opportunity is going to close sooner or later. That double Black Sonic... You guys don't know how bad I want Happy to fucking win this duel. So the fact that he got rid of Torrential Tribute, in my opinion, is the biggest green light he's gonna get this duel. You know, basically special summon your heart out. If your opponent max sees you, fuck it, just go for it. I do that shit all the time. Alright, so now we have a little bit of discussion, and it looks like we're going to see a little bit of extra deck summoning. We've got nope. Okay, Happy decides he does not want to synchro quite yet, and he can't really do much with Orochi and with Orochi and Blizzard. And they keep talking about nonsense. Just duel, man. Shit, nobody cares about your Black Sonics and how upset you are that you got hit with Black Sonic twice. You know, especially when I feel like I'm gonna win, I'll just be like, shut up and lose. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and that's gonna be that. Alright, so Manipulator says he needs one card to win. Cool story, bro. Alright, so we have Synchro 2, Synchro 4, that's Synchro 6. I believe he's going for level 6 Synchro. I would not recommend anything that needs to activate an effect. I would recommend something that's just a beat stick like Armwing. Alright, so Armwing attacks. And Armwing is successful. 2300 to Manipulator. And Happy passes it back. Unfortunately, he isn't able to make a further play. And that's unfortunate. Because, I mean, he kind of had momentum there. Alright, so... And did he draw nothing but artifacts? Soul Charge. Double Soul Charge. Nice way to just have nothing. Dark Hole, one card after that. Wow. I don't understand why he didn't Soul Charge for 2 though. He could have made Pleiades and like bounced the card or something like that. And oh man, the salt is real. The salt is real. Manipulator's trying to show all these cards that would have helped. You didn't draw any of them. The salt is real. Losing to double back-to-back Black Sonic. Like, who would imagine that? So, yeah. Manipulator's going through his entire deck. If I'm Happy, usually I call admin at this point. I don't really give a fuck about you trying to, you know, not be salty and cry and say, oh, well, I should have drawn this. Well, you didn't. Exactly, Sahabi. Why so salty? Thank you guys for watching as always.